many updates and edits, the royal family's official website assigns the position of the Sussex couple to the last line of the page. Although it has not yet met many people's expectations, this decisive move confirms that the grifter duo is no longer related to the royal family. Meghan can now only return to the American Riviera Orchard brand, which she believes is authentic and perfect. Let us find out how the palace sent this message to Meghan, and welcome back to the Royal News 365 channel, my friends. If you click the Royal Family tab and scroll down, the royals look like they are working, yet only Harry and Meghan look like they are on holiday. I think this was an intentional snark. I don't know who decides what in the British royal family, yet at least one person has a good sense of snarky humor. Harry and Meghan are sitting on the ground wearing flowers, having a long and lazy vacation while the other members work hard and are dedicated to the people. Sussex couple look like their life is just a perpetual party here. No dignity as there is in the other royals' photos. It completely emphasizes their separateness from the royal family and their new life overseas. It's great. Well done, Buckingham Palace. I believe the palace used a suits photo and the earlier Australia tour, so people cannot misinterpret whether or not they still represent the monarchy. Isn't it awesome? They look so casual too, not at all like royals. The photo chosen is the sweetest revenge. It made me immediately reminded of the couple's awful behavior allegedly on that trip. It is hilarious that they've used a photo from the tour of Australia. Meghan allegedly threw a teacup at a staff member and caused other staff to cry when she abruptly left a marketplace. Incidentally, early on in their tour, she also used a purple binder to cover her tummy to indicate that she was carrying the child of royalty. The website doesn't say anything, yet it says a lot. We might think of the unpublished bullying allegations or the controversy surrounding Meghan's pregnancy. Notice that none of the Sussex family photos were used, and no photos of the kiddos. The difference between their shared page and that of William and Catherine clearly shows Meghan and Harry's place. Also, Harry's involvement with Invictus is only one sentence and only speaks of the first games in London. I'm hoping that slowly Invictus is being taken back under the Royal Foundation and not some pet/vanity project for Harry to feel important. It doesn't even mention her by name. It just refers to her as the Duchess of Sussex, and it does refer to her Suits character by name. It is just so refreshing to read an actual facts-based bio of Meghan that contains 0 Meghan words. We can say it is palace trolling. Neither are mentioned with the names they go by Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. So anybody searching those names will not get the British royal family site. This is really good news, as Meghan always tried to tie her name to the family that she and her husband threw mud into. However, as you know, the website still maintains a direct link to meghansussex.com. Think positively. They're not linked to us in any official capacity. It completely separates them. I know that many people think the link to their website should not be on there. It would be worrying if the number of clicks to their website increased, and it could increase the reach for Meghan's brand. Actually, I believe at this point the existence of a connection doesn't have too much use for Meghan. Anyway, it's taken 5-6 years to get here, a little change at a time. I don't think anything they could have done with the royal site would have made many of us happy without their complete removal. This is an improvement, though. Sort of an archive. Unfortunately, Harry is still the son of the sitting king. They won't remove him completely for that fact alone. They can't appear to be inhuman. Harry should be thankful the royal tradition of separating offending family members' heads from their bodies is long past. Harry and Meghan are just lucky that they were included along with a link to their website. Given the crap that they pulled, if it had been my child, they would only have been mentioned with no bio or web link. I think it is funny that it says nothing about the folk feminist mantra she tries to push. I am glad the royal family finally got around to pushing them down to the bottom. They don't belong on the site at all. Yet I am glad they were combined and shoved to the bottom. On the other hand, there are so many pictures of Catherine, and over 20 links to her charities. That's exactly the type of stuff that will piss Meghan off. The fact that they don't refer to her by name at all is just delicious. Putting Harry and Meghan in a suitable position, and having things already dealt with, will make it impossible for them to complain about this. They are no longer senior working royals by their own choice, so they shouldn't be on that page. They are no longer representing the king, again, by choice, so that's an appropriate change. They are listed on the family page, which is all they are. Like it or not, Harry is still family, the king's son no less. I think what they have done here is petty perfection. I will summarize it comprehensively. Firstly, they removed completely from the senior royal page to the family page below Andrew. They also removed any suggestion that the Sussex couple worked for or represented the king. That took away they return as working royals. Dramatically reduced bios, especially the info about Meghan, without using the names the duo use for themselves. The British royal family setting that CO optimization. The only name for her on the website is her suit's name. Then the palace reduced their only remaining grift, and Harry's biggest achievement is Invictus, to a single sentence. That may slow that roll for them. And the funniest thing about them is the pictures. If you know anything about the palace, you know they are thoughtful in their choices, whether it be a quiet acknowledgement or being petty. They do it in such a blue blood way. My guess is she is enraged about this. I will add that His Royal Highness is for Andrew, yet not for them. That couldn't be more of a slap to them. Andrew is lower in the line of succession. He is also disgraced, and is not a working royal. At least he has kept his mouth shut. And Andrew has not turned his back on and attacked the monarchy or the family. I believe this is a tough decision by the royal family. How are they justifying it to the public, I wonder? If Andrew were above Harry in the line of succession, it would make sense. Yet he isn't. Netflix is releasing a dramatized version of the disastrous news night interview in April. It's going to dredge up the whole drama all over again. Then we're going to hear the whole British royal family is so mean to Harry and Meghan. Look, even Andrew is above him on the website. The royals are setting themselves up for more mudslinging. I believe moaning Harry will not miss this opportunity. You know, this duo will never accept defeat and stop. Maybe now they are thinking about how to promote the American Riviera orchard. I started seeing articles for this brand again. They are hyperbolically reporting that Meghan believes her brand is authentic and perfect. These words do not mean what she thinks they mean. No words do. She just makes up definitions in her head to support what she wants. Her whole life is one ginormous egocentric delusion. If it were authentic to her, she would not be dining out on her husband's connections, and she would not be copying Highgrove's offerings. However, then she is an empty shell, and nothing is authentic to her. So I think authentic to her because no one else thinks so. It's tacky, cringy, stupid, and gross to everyone else. This reminds me of her academic podcast. It's pretentious, idiotic, meaningless, vapid, and without content. I can't wait to see what she's gonna do when American Riviera Orchard is an embarrassing flop, because that's not gonna be as easy to hide as her other failures such as 40/40. She's so cowardly. She pretends her failures didn't happen. She won't be able to do that with the new brand. However, she'll try. I can think of many things she could blame failure on. Supply chain, pesticides in the product, fruit shortages, unfair competition. It's Highgrove's fault because they're successful or something else. She'll find someone to blame. You know, blaming others and turning yourself into a victim is what they did the most in the past. However, regarding the brand this time, I appreciate Meghan's choice. It's a meaningless brand name evocative of nothing, irrelevant and confusing. It attempts to look classy while clearly being pretentious and without substance. It is perfect for a pretend former royal. It is authentic to a talentless grifter. It actually fully encompasses exactly who she is. It is her. It's what she considers classy. It makes no sense as a word salad. The logo is a hot mess. It's beige. And an announcement only followed by nothingness. No work. The video was worse. The only thing that isn't working is the use of American with her use of British titles. American Riviera Orchard is the most awkward and contradictory brand name ever. If she wasn't so loathsome and grasping, I'd feel bad for her. Focus either on the Riviera or the orchard. It's like Meghan wants the monopoly on exotic and homey at the same time. Beach, yet also farm. Heaven knows what sort of fusion products she'd sell. I just had a thought. Maybe Meghan chose orchard to mimic King Charles's products. It is supposed to make people believe this is the Duchess's American royal family branch of Charles's products. Always has to push that royal connection. If that's true, then she's really stupider than even I gave her credit for. I think American market heard of Charles brand. No Americans are going to associate her crap with Charles Organic quality brand because most Americans haven't heard of it. So orchard tacked on the end doesn't work. American Riviera Home sounds better and doesn't make you think she's only selling jam and quince paste when you know it's largely going to be candles, throws, and jewelry. My question is, what is she going to do now that this has proven to be a flop? This was her last big thing. After blaming others, what will Meghan do? She literally cannot help herself. She has to clap back. That thin skin is why she won't succeed in business, if it ever actually launches, that is. You know that she disabling the like counts. Instagram doesn't have a dislike button, so she won't see any dislikes. She just couldn't bear to not have as many likes as she thinks she deserves. She spends her life trawling the media for reasons to be offended. She is fake, pointless, and lazy, and I'm sure her logo launch was a flop. She wants to evoke the feeling of Ralph Lauren advertising, viz. The American old money lifestyle. Except Lauren's marketing's smarter, it's easier to dress like old money, plus people tend to buy more clothes than it is to lay a table like old money. Meghan might think it was a triumph. Because she is that basic, has an overinflated sense of her abilities, and she has no taste. The only authentic thing about Meghan is her unrelenting, psychotic desire to have her photo taken and be the center of attention at all times and in all circumstances. She is also quite authentic in using, abusing, and discarding family and friends alike. Meghan made up this bizarre name that says nothing at all and thinks it's authentic and perfect. American Riviera refers to Santa Barbara, not Monticello. Santa Barbara has the beaches, the sand, the waves. Montecito does not, so how is this authentic? As for the orchard, where's the orchard? Does Meghan own one suitable for the production of jams? Or is she going to import it from China and slap a label on it? This isn't authentic. If it's not authentic, it can't be perfect. It's something when even you know it's poison to put your name on your own brand. No, on the authentic, and Meghan. You ain't got it. You ain't never gonna get it. We will be waiting a long time for any junk or otherwise to be peddled. She put this website out there merely to draw attention to herself because the world is looking for Princess Catherine. She's got our attention all right in the worst way possible with that ludicrous brand, yet there is no deliverable product. So when she's going to actually debut the products she is selling? Is someone's birthday coming up, or a big event happening with the royal family in the next week or so? Will she roll it out the day after Catherine makes her first official appearance? Just so odd to not capitalize on all the momentum. I hope Meghan knows that when Catherine returns to work, the only way Meghan could distract from her is to divorce the great whiner. Paying newspapers for headlines will not help Meghan succeed. It just depleted her funds. They call it a glitzy social media video. That's one way to put it delicately. I suppose we can excuse how shitty it was, since it was just a little tiny social media video. People tend to overinflate their talent or idea, and it's better to have someone with an impartial eye look over it. I guess it's what people also do with the brand. Meghan is too tentative. Launched the brand yet had no product. Didn't even build up a following based on it, expecting it to take off. Her brand looks hollow. She got up that morning and had the brilliant idea of releasing a promotional video, which essentially promotes nothing except herself. So now she has to explain herself is pretty bad. A good brand name shouldn't need the owner to justify it. It would stand on its own as clever and catchy at first glance. The more people read stuff like this, the more people will realize that Meghan is not just a thoroughly unpleasant person, just totally and utterly insane. The fact that she is digging in about how supposedly great this name is shows how delusional she is. The source is clearly Meghan. Perfect and authentic to her is exactly what she would say. Regardless, it's a stupid name and it's pathetic that the website isn't even up. Her grip on reality snapped after marrying Harry. She started believing that she was super smart, talented, and popular. He thought he was hard done by and deserved to be king. They became gods in their own minds. So my sinners, don't worry too much about the link to Sussex.com on the royal family website. No matter how precious a gift is, it is meaningless if it falls into the hands of incompetent and lazy people. They will not be able to take advantage of this opportunity. The royal family washes its hands of the nonsense put out by them. It emphasizes that their role as royals has finished, is finito, over. They are ex-royals. They print an extremely unflattering picture of Madame at her thickest in suits and give her a tiny official biography. Everything about the link is just that the palace basically said, if you want to know what they're up to, go find that info over there, 'cause we don't know them. It brushes them aside and makes clear they are no longer working royals. All the nonsense about supporting the king has gone. It's same when you work in a university, and sometimes the students visit your department for issues related to another department. Then you simply tell them they need to go to that department, and that's the end of it. Harry was born into the family. He's the king's second son. Of course he will be on the website, working royal or not. They took down an 8,000-word for both Harry and Meghan together bio and turned it into a 500-word bio with statements from the Queen and the Sussexes stating they stepped down. They are now known on the site as the King's Son and not working royals. They will never be erased. They no longer attend family holidays or trips or events. The world knows that. We all saw the 12-minute fly over to Daddy, so we all already know where they stand. This update is what people cried for, though some are still unhappy. For me, I like that the Sussex website is so lame and stupid. If you want to read about the Sussexes, you clearly have to leave the royal family site. Meghan lives on a different continent. If you want to read about her, her site is somewhere else. It's not the early days of the web anymore. The Sussex site is only a Google away. The palace is not bothered about the Harkles or their website. The royal are trying to be mature about it. Harry is still a member. And if one is actually interested in the Sussexes, the British royal family were big enough to say where you can find it. It just helps to highlight to royal family watchers and the general public that the Sussex couple's work is completely separate from actual royal work. I know many here disagree and think the link to Sussex.com should be left off, yet I actually kind of love that they did this. If there's anything I learned is that they do things by degrees. We sinners have waited for this downgrade for years and it's happened today, probably for good reason. I believe that they linked it to show that the duo still has a responsibility towards the name, yet is still under the wider umbrella of the royal family. Hence things that Harry and Meghan do as royals, such as Harry's Africa Parks leadership, would be solely Harry's responsibility, yet at the same time, he and Meghan cannot go beyond the boundaries as stipulated by the Sandringham Agreement. For me, it's not a win for the couple. It shows they are separated as much as fallen angels were separated from heaven, yet we know where they are. Linking to the website shows a contrast. These two may call themselves royal, yet only by the most tenuous link, as you can see from the sloppy and self-serving website. I also think it's a very tiny concession knowing that they will fade away in the future. Cutting them off completely will just give them a reason to cry victim. The royal family is playing the long game. I hope there is a demotion, and the dry snark from the bio head writer and picture selection is there. You can see it also. No mention of the Brands and Archwell. The narcissist will be fuming at the lack of mention. She will be throwing plates in the Olive Garden castle for sure. Ah, fair balance. It's buried so deep in there I doubt anyone other than Sugars will read it and find it. Edward and Sophie probably never imagined the day coming when they would be second on the website behind Wales. Ditto either way, Anne. Goes to show that just go about your business in the royal family and stay out of trouble. You will be rewarded. Finally, I think the primary reason Buckingham Palace did this was to make clear to Harry and Meghan that they had their own website to promote themselves. So quit wasting staffers' time making demands that photos and bios be redone. You can see American Riviera Orchard or authentic and perfect brand here. That brings us to the end of my video. Hope you agree with my point of view. If not, please comment so we can discuss it. Don't forget to like and share the video so YouTube can recommend similar videos. And if you want to receive notifications about the latest videos, please subscribe. We will be back soon. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.